Meghan Markle is having a really hard time. You know, the woman who married Prince Harry, he never should have married her, right? You know, I always say that, like, the most important decision you'll ever make in life is who you marry. And he went really, really wrong on that way. I mean, you can't pick your family, right? You're born into your family, but you can pick your spouse. So you need to be really thoughtful about who you pick. This is the newest cover of Vanity Fair, and it's called American Hustle. American Hustle because these are a couple of hustlers, according to the article. It's really kind of a hatchet job on them. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, he's all messed up. He leaves his family. She thought she was going to be the superstar. I'm sorry. That went to Kate Middleton long ago. You were always there as the spare as well, Meghan. Apparently she can never really handle that. It's very interesting. I had an agent, God rest his soul, just a wonderful, wonderful agent, John Ferreter, who liked everyone. He really did. He loved everyone. There were only two people in this world like he didn't have tremendous respect for. One was Lauren Sanchez, who is now engaged to Jeff Bezos. And then the other was Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle. He also represented Piers Morgan. And Piers, you know, has absolutely no respect and no use for one Meghan Markle, and saw her as a climber and a user and all these sorts of things. Anyway, this article is pretty darn damaging. It talks about kind of just how dumb they are and how they kind of thought they could waltz into all this money, and they didn't really understand that they had to work for it. Like, oh, we can have a podcast. What did I tell you? I've been doing this podcast. I started off with, Leslie was here, Don was here, a few of you were here, David Lorenzo was here. I mean, we had no one, right? We started and we started small, and we've been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of vigilance, and I obviously have a very, very strong opinion, and that comes through loud and clear, but she didn't know what she wanted to talk about. She just wanted to have a podcast, but had no idea really what she wanted to talk about. So boy, oh boy, did that fail spectacularly. So in the beginning, reports Vanity Fair, there was all this interest in the couple. It was totally like, oh my gosh, they're great. But then it turned out that they really they were dissing like the very thing that was interesting to people. So they came, Harry's upbringing, that was interesting to people, but he hated it and he was dissing it. And so he's trying to escape all that. But it's like, okay, well, that's really kind of all people are interested in you for. The article goes on to say, and it's pretty damning. It says that they didn't do what celebrities do on podcasts, which is turn the mic on and talk, because they couldn't. Like, if you listen to her podcast, and I've gone back and listened to these, and it's like so scripted and so, just so laborious. I mean, it takes her forever to get a sentence out. And she kind of spends a little too much. It's like overacted nonsense. And so that was her podcast. And it was just nauseating, right? So you can understand nobody wanted to listen to it. It wasn't interesting at all. And she had no viewpoint. And she kind of talked really slow and deliberately, like she was a middle schooler in her first play. All right, so the whole thing was bad. And then apparently Harry had no ideas. Harry thought, this is great. Harry thought, I'll do a podcast, and I think I should do it on psychopaths. Like, what makes someone a psychopath? Is it their upbringing, whatever? And then when I interview these psychopaths, I want to interview people like Mark Zuckerberg and Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. So the Spotify people are like, oh yeah, good luck with that one. Like, that's really just exactly what a booker wants to say. So we have this new show called Psychopaths with Prince Harry, and he thinks you'd be a perfect guest on this show. Oh, they're going to just come climbing. They can't wait to go on the Psychopath show. I mean, it's like really divorced from reality, and yet always trying to make a buck. The American hustlers. But the best part of all, the best part of this entire thing is that, according to this article, her team went to a book publisher and asked what they thought a book would be worth about life after Harry. after the split, after the divorce. You want to talk commercial, huh? Scary. Harry, watch out. Harry, I don't know if she's really in it for you. You might be her ball and chain. Kind of like Kamala. Kamala and Meghan. There you go. They should get together. They should do the big expose. Ditch the spouses. Go do a podcast. And well, they have nothing to say. We know that. And Kamala can't actually talk. Like at all. CBS proved that one, did they not? Quick shout out to one of our wonderful sponsors here on the show. Somebody was like, Trish, you keep getting younger. I will take that compliment all day long. Thank you for that. And John S., I think you had one more. I want to get to that in a second. But part of the reason that I feel good, and hopefully I look good, is because I do actually take my health pretty seriously. I drink a lot of water. I exercise every day. I go to the gym. I was actually at the gym this morning. And I take my multivitamins. This is actually kind of new for me because I wasn't very good at this before. And, I took the Flintstone vitamins when I was a little kid, but that's when I was a kid. And it wasn't actually until Balance of Nature came along and they said to me, hey, we have this great product. Go check our testimonials out. And I did. And people had amazing things to say, amazing things to say about Balance of Nature. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I'll get, wedded to this. And so I take my fruits and veggies every single day. I get all my multivitamins, which for me is actually really important. Things like vitamin B and especially vitamin D, because I'm just not in the sun enough. And certainly not now. It's so darn cold. Hey, even if I was in Florida, I'd be cold right about now, I think. So I love them for all their support. I love this because I get this delivered to my house every month. You can too. Use code word Trish, call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com. Wow, you're really chatty, John. Okay, let's talk again. You're really into the, let me see if I can get Balance of Nature out of the way so we can look at your super chat. So John S. writing in again that he hasn't read the book, but as a kid I would read the joke pages. I would read the joke pages in Reader's Digest, and I had to ask my father why Natalie Wood is the only wood that doesn't float. It was supposed to be funny. Oh, okay, so he's talking about Hollywood. Yeah, that's another sort of conspiracy that was never really solved, right? People wonder how on earth Natalie Wood, who was just beautiful. Beautiful. Do you remember Natalie Wood in the original, before Rachel Zegler took it over, the original West Side Story? Gosh, she was just great. She didn't actually do the singing in that, but she's so beautiful and such a phenomenal actress. David agrees. He's like, yep, they're getting divorced. The Obamas are getting divorced, or is it Prince Harry that's getting divorced? Or Kamala and Doug? We have a lot of divorces to talk about today, do we not? My gosh, trouble in paradise. The Democrats are having a big problem. A big problem. Nobody's happy right now. It's like what Joy Reid was saying the other day. They're all feeling miserable, and they're feeling miserable because Donald Trump has now come to office. That's the reason. That's the reason. Life should be bigger than that, but apparently it's not. These women are.
And we're having a conversation.
Yes.
And we're going to go back to it. But before we do, I just want to say, this is the beauty of people who have different opinions. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes we're messy. And I don't know if you noticed that when I came out this morning, I had trouble trying to figure out, because there was nothing in the thing. There's something in the air. So just know something is chewing on us.
Yes. You know what's in the air, Whoopi?
What's
Trumpism. We lost the election. Wait a minute. We lost the election. We're miserable. Half of this country is miserable. And let's just tell the truth. We hate that he won. We hate it. And everybody's uptight and crazy right now.
Well, then I'm going to say to that machine over there, you stop blaming me. You do what you're supposed to do. You bring up the words I need to say. So what I need to say is, we're going to go back to the convo that we were having.
You see, everybody's miserable. That's why the Obamas are getting divorced. That's why Kamala Harris is getting divorced. And that's why Meghan Markle is scoping out how much a divorce might actually mean to her. Apparently, allegedly, per the Vanity Fair article. No inside intel on that one. My only inside intel is that someone I knew did not like her very much, and Piers Morgan as well does not like her very much. Anyway, it is a great show today. It's good to see all of you guys. You know, I have this members thing that I would encourage you to also sign up for on YouTube, because I thought this weekend it might be fun to kind of just have one of these members chats. So if you're over there as a member on YouTube, please join me. We'll get together over the weekend and do a little bit more reporting, and I'd love to hear from you over there. Thank you so much again for all your generosity with so many super chats. Wow, that is just, I don't think we've had a show quite like that, so thank you for that. And I am looking forward to seeing you over the weekend, and of course again on Monday.